Ladies and gentlemen, today we had very intense and very useful negotiations with Foreign Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Badr Abdelati. Yesterday, my colleague, as you know, was received by the President of the Russian Federation. During his visit to Moscow, he also had meetings with the chair of the State Duma, Vyacheslav Volodin, Secretary of the Security Council Sergei Shoigu, and Deputy Prime Minister Alexei Overchuk. As you can understand, such a comprehensive program is a clear confirmation of the very high level of traditionally friendly Russian-Egyptian relations. We are satisfied with the positive dynamics of trade, economic, and investment cooperation. Last year, the volume of bilateral trade amounted to over $10 billion, exceeding the previous year's figure by more than 12%. Special attention was devoted to the most acute crisis of the current period, the unprecedented escalation in the Gulf region as a result of unprovoked aggression by the United States and Israel against the Islamic Republic of Iran. Both Russia and Egypt advocate for an immediate cessation of hostilities and a return to the political and diplomatic process to resolve existing disagreements while ensuring the security interests of all states in the region without exception, including our friendly Arab states of the Gulf, Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and, of course, the Islamic Republic of Iran. President Trump, the day before yesterday, in my opinion, stated that as soon as they finish hostilities, and he explains that virtually all tasks have been solved, shipping in the Strait of Hormuz will resume on a normal basis. The problem is not that something needs to be demanded from Iran, but military actions need to be stopped. And then the Strait regime will be restored, which fully relies on the 1982 Convention on the Law of the Sea, defining all navigation norms in peacetime. In wartime, it does not apply. Our Chinese colleagues, in contact with their Gulf partners, emphasize the same points. Military actions must be stopped, and then shipping will be restored. When they argue that this resolution should still be accepted amid what the U.S. itself calls negotiations, it is clear that accepting a resolution which does not even mention that Iran became a victim of aggression will antagonize authorities in Tehran. Someone wants to undermine the negotiation prospects that were emerging, or might have emerged if everyone who talks about negotiations truly wants peace talks. The ultimate result is one. Surely this resolution was planned with the best intentions, but it is either planned or will be used to disrupt the emerging, still very fragile chances for negotiations, or it will be used to retroactively legitimize aggression against Iran. I hope that all our detailed explanations were heard by our friends in the Gulf and the Arab world as a whole. SOT, Badr Abdelati, Egyptian Foreign Minister, Arabic.
Thank you very much, my dear friend, Foreign Minister of the Russian Federation, Sergei Lavrov. Thank you very much for the welcome and hospitality with which you have received us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to be in Moscow today, and our country greatly values the historic ties that bind us to the Russian Federation. These ties, which have lasted for more than 80 years, are based on friendship, mutual respect, and shared interests. There is no doubt that the major projects currently underway in Egypt can be seen as an example of such strategic cooperation. The foremost of these projects is the El Dabaa nuclear power plant project, which represents a historic step in our strategic partnership and will contribute to ensuring our country's energy security and technological capabilities. We also discussed trade and economic relations and the project to establish a logistics center for Russian petroleum and grain products to be set up in Egypt and serve as a logistics hub to support the needs of countries in the Arab region and the African continent. We hope that this project will become a platform for production and export. Undoubtedly, the mechanisms are clear. They are mechanisms of negotiation, but not the use of military force. This is precisely what Egypt has always called for, and as you know, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is making every necessary political and diplomatic effort to achieve de-escalation in the region. The region, unfortunately, is rife with crises and conflicts, and we do not need yet another conflict. We are against escalation. We certainly condemn all attacks on our brotherly Gulf countries, on Jordan and on Iraq. But the escalation must be stopped. The violence must be stopped. This is precisely what Egypt is working on, in cooperation with all international and regional partners.